The first clue was a receipt. Just a flimsy piece of paper from a cafe I'd never heard of, tucked into her coat pocket. 2 lattes, 2 croissants, dated for a Tuesday afternoon when she was supposed to be at her downtown office. I didn't confront her. Instead, a cold, quiet curiosity took root in my chest. I started paying attention. The late nights at work, the sudden need for privacy with her phone, the way she'd smile at a text and say it was just her sister, little lies, stacking up like bricks to build a wall between us. My name is Mark, and for 15 years, Sarah was my world. We met in college in Austin, fell in love over late-night study sessions and cheap tacos. We built a life, a home. I thought we were happy. But happiness, I learned, can be a beautifully crafted illusion. The curiosity turned into a knot of dread in my stomach. I needed to know, not to fix it, but to understand the depth of the betrayal. I hired a private investigator, a discreet older gentleman named Mr. Harris. A week later, he handed me a manila envelope. Inside were photos, Sarah laughing with a man I didn't recognize, holding his hand as they walked along Lady Bird Lake, kissing him in the parking lot of that same cafe from the receipt. His name was Daniel, a partner at a rival firm. The pictures were sharp, undeniable. Each one felt like a punch to the gut. I sat in my car for an hour, the engine off, just staring at them. The woman in those photos was a stranger. That night, watching her sleep, a chilling calm washed over me. The hurt was still there, a raw, open wound. But something else was there too, cold, methodical resolve. She wasn't just going to leave. She wasn't going to get half of what we built while I was left with the rubble. No. I was going to dismantle her life, piece by piece, just like she had dismantled mine. The first phase was financial. I quietly started moving my personal assets, bonuses from work I'd never told her about, into separate accounts. I consulted a shark of a divorce lawyer in Houston, a woman named Ms. Albright, known for her scorched earth tactics. She advised me on every move. I documented everything, every late night, every suspicious credit card charge, every lie. I created a timeline, cross-referencing her work calendar with Mr. Harris's reports. It was a masterpiece of betrayal, all laid out in a neat little spreadsheet. Phase 2 was social. Sarah loved her perfect image. The successful lawyer, the devoted wife, the darling of our social circle. I started planting seeds. A casual mention to a friend about Sarah's new work project that kept her out so late. An offhand comment about how tired she seemed, how distant she'd become. I played the part of the concerned, slightly clueless husband to perfection. Ain't they all sympathized? She's probably just stressed, Mark, they'd say. You're such a good husband. The final piece was the law. Daniel, her lover, was not just a partner at his firm. He was a married man. His wife, a prominent figure in Dallas society, had no idea. Mr. Harris, my PI, was very thorough. He found out Daniel was using company funds for their little getaways, their fancy dinners. A clear violation of his firm's ethics policy, fireable offense, and potentially illegal. The day I chose was our 16th anniversary. I booked a table at our favorite restaurant, the one where I proposed. She was glowing, talking about a trip to Italy we should plan. All the while, I could barely stomach my food. When we got home, I had everything laid out on the dining room table. The photos, the bank statements, the PI reports, a printed copy of Daniel's company expense reports, highlighted in yellow, and a set of divorce papers, already signed by me. Mark faltered as she saw it. Mark, what is all this? I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her, the woman I once loved, said, "This is the end, Sarah." I watched the color drain from her face as she looked through the evidence. The denial, the anger, then the sheer gut-wrenching panic. I explained very calmly that not only was our marriage over, but I had also sent a copy of the evidence to her law firm's ethics board. To Daniel's managing partner, and anonymously, to Daniel's wife. You'll get nothing, I said, my voice barely a whisper. You'll lose your job. You'll lose your friends. You'll lose everything, just like I did. She collapsed into a chair, sobbing, but I felt nothing. No pity, no satisfaction. Just empty. I walked out of that house and never looked back. The divorce was swift and brutal for her. She was fired. Her friends, our friends, sided with me. Daniel's wife filed for divorce, and he was publicly disgraced. Sarah was left with nothing but the consequences of her choices. Sometimes I drive by our old house. It's quiet now. The lights are always off. The once perfectly manicured lawn is overgrown. All that's left is a ghost of a life we once had. And in the silence, I find my peace.